How many more months do I have? Oh, what more do you want from me? Hi, it's KD, and I'm back again with another Brazilian Portuguese learning video. And this time back to Renascer. It is getting wild, folks. I'm really starting to view this like Dragon Ball Z or anime in general, but they have like sagas and arc. We are officially in the Pica-Pauzinho pre-villain saga. And then the arc would be like, I don't know, João Pedro comeback arc, Eliana's entanglement arc, or Damião's demise arc. Bro Bento is like an arc in itself all the time. The Booba Baby arc has a nice ring to it. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I'm gonna dive right into the review of what's been going on for the past month. Let's get it started. So let's start things off with family business. All right, so when we left off, Papa Zé was mad at João Pedro. Essentially, he didn't believe João Pedro had the money or should have the money to pay Augusto to buy him out of his portion of the land of cacao. Causes this small civil war to occur. There was a split between the two people. João Pedro leaves and goes to stay with Diocleciano and Moreno for like the 20th, maybe 30th time in his life. Diocleciano decides to stay on João Pedro's side because, you know, that's his godfather. They always going to have this bond. But long story short, Zé comes to his senses and realizes that dude's just good. I mean, the only genetics you passed about farming or doing things with cacao went to this dude, and he's been here the whole time. Of course, he's going to revolutionize the stuff. They kind of stay split, but civil war averted. Bro Bento, trying to get rich or die trying, makes a deal with Pica-Pauzinho. Basically, he just wants money for cacao. So he said, if you give me this money, I will give you the cacao from the next harvest. He takes that money and blows it off. As soon as he gets money, it doesn't stay in his hands. Basically writes checks that his behind can't cash because João Pedro is the one that's working this land. João Pedro has the idea to try and get the cacao to a better quality. He takes it to this lab and he doesn't have the cacao to give Bento at the time because, you know, he's been the only one dealing with it. When Bento starts panicking, Pica-Pauzinho says, yo, give me the cacao or give me the land. Puts him in a situation and Zé ends up bailing him out. It was a part of the whole resolution between João Pedro and Zé because he realized João Pedro was doing progressive stuff while Bento is out here just trying to get money fast. This is the beginning of what I like to call, like I said earlier, the João Pedro redemption arc, and I love it. He deserves it. It's about time he gets a win. Venancio, meanwhile, doubles down on the whole Booba is pregnant thing. So much so that at some point, Zé goes to Rio to visit them, and he makes Booba wear a prosthetic belly just to show that she's pregnant. And Booba goes along with it. I lost some respect for Booba. I almost had to put out her torch on the top 5 people with logic and sense that I like. She didn't go out. She's just kind of like in the bottom of it now. But still, it's really weird that he wants his father's approval and pride that much that he's willing to make his partner wear a fake belly just to keep up the lie that she's pregnant. Wow. Venancio's wife, Eliana, gets super bold trying to save her marriage. She flies to Zé's house, tells him that she wants to save the marriage and that if they're going to end things, I at least want to stay here and take over the land that Venancio has. Zé's like, all right, cool. And she tries to learn to work the cacao fields, which means Damião shows her how to work the cacao fields and they start flirting. Long story short is that they eventually end up hooking up. And it's not just one time. Nah, these people are all over the farm in the little things to dry cacao, the bedroom while dinner's going on the roof, on a horse, Amazonia. They everywhere. The disrespect is unparalleled. Even Diocleciano's like, yo, I see what's going on, bro. You gotta stop this. And Damião's like, I can't do it, bro. I love Hichino. Not gonna leave Hichino, but I'm gonna keep doing what I do with Eliana, bro. Ride that wave. Other than Diocleciano, there's other people that know what's going on. It's not hard to figure out what's going on. Like, you sit at dinner and these two people are gone and then all of a sudden they show up. Once Zé finds out, he's like, Eliana, get your ass out. Take your ass back to Rio. And she was like, but what? You know why. Leave. That was the end of that. So if you remember when we left off with João Pedro and his situationship, he had started to flirt and hook up with Sandra, who is Filha do Pica-Pauzinho. they kind of hide around, but then it comes out. And then, of course, when Pica-Pauzinho finds out, he hates it. He can't stand it. He doesn't want his family to have anything to do with Zay's family. Sandra is very rebellious. She goes against literally everything Pica-Pauzinho stands for and does. She keeps going and then eventually moves out the house and into Diocleciano and Moreno's house to stay with Joao Pedro. When Pica-Pauzinho finds out, he goes over there. He's like, yo, bring your ass home. Come on out. She's like, I'm not going. To which he pulls out the strap on Joao Pedro. And Joao Pedro makes me so proud. I shed one tear. I was just so proud, bro. He stood up, gun in his face. He's like, move something. And then as soon as Pica-Pauzinho flinched, moved the gun, and yoked him up on the wall, he's like, yeah, got you. I was like, wait. That's right. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you do it. Woo! Boy, I get hype all over again, man. It was like one of my favorite moments in Renascer thus far. I thoroughly enjoyed that moment. And I'm happy for him to have come up. Again, we are in the Joao Pedro redemption arc. And I love it. But of course, everything can't be good. We are talking about a Globo show and it's a novella. In his defense of Sandra, Joao Pedro says that he's going to marry Sandra. I don't understand the need to get married. This is not shot in the 1800s. Why are they trying to get married every time someone's like, you're doing illegitimate stuff? Who the fuck cares? Especially with Eliana and Damian doing what they doing all over. But yeah, what's the need? Sandra realizes that Joao Pedro doesn't really love her. They just have a good connection. So she eventually says, you know what? This ain't right, and dips. Slight side note, Joao and this damn chicken. This chicken is officially a star on the show. First off, it's a black chicken and it gets speaking lines. It's clearly silent and all of a sudden, I know that was in the script. They wrote the chicken in, so this is the most famous chicken I've ever seen. Pica-Pauzinho knows that Joao will kill people. He's like, hey, Joao, kill Zay for me. Joao's like, no. So that's the end of that. Joanina finally keeps it real with Pica-Pauzinho's wife after having a talk with Sandra and lets her know like, hey, your husband told me he's gonna put me, my children, my family on the street if I don't do the things he wants me to do, which is lay with him. Pica-Pauzinho's wife is like, you know what? All the times I knew he was doing stuff, you the first one to actually come to me and say, your husband is trash. I respect you. I was like, that's all it took. Novela logic, brother. All it took is her to say, yo, he's a creep. And she was like, oh, I believe you. You could have did that 20 episodes ago. In following suit with novela logic, the solution to this problem that Pica-Pauzinho's wife comes up with is that she will make Pica-Pauzinho think that she is attracted to Joao. Pica-Pauzinho, this man is unhinged, okay? He will stop at nothing for his wants. He's gone from like entertainment to like, oh, it's a powder keg. If he's willing to do this, he'll do something else crazier. This dude goes in to their house to steal Joao's underwear and then wears it for his wife. And that turns them both on. First off, ew, that's gross. That's nasty. Secondly, how are you put on another dude's underwear? Dirty, sujo, underwear.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I got 4 more months of this, people. Slight comic relief in the whole thing is Norberto is still not over Jaquetinga. We are like close to halfway, if not halfway through this show. And this man is still Jaquetinga. Where are you?
Dona Jacutinga. Oh, Dona Jacutinga.
Norberto's love for Jaquetinga unparalleled in the show. Getting into some of the crazy novella stuff that we all know is going to happen. You remember back in the first video I did, the first review, I said that Zay got hung up in a tree and was left there to die, and then some random dude from the Middle East helped him out, dropped him off on the porch, and we never saw this dude again. This dude came back. This dude just shows up in Norberto's spot out of nowhere. Do not, and says, hey, it's me, Hashid. Like, oh, Hashid, what's up? Hey, how you doing? And the acceptance of this man that you have not seen in 30 plus years with no proof. What is going on? So Norberto takes him over to Zay's house. Zay's like, oh, who are you? This man holds up a needle used to close stitches, a suture needle. Like, hey, remember me? And Zay was like, oh, Hashid. I'm like, how is this identification? How? So yeah, Hashid is back. He's staying with Norberto. Why he came back after 30 years, we still don't know. Apparently he has some business to handle, and we'll get more into that later. Now for one of the most boring characters. Ela muito chato. Mariana is in tune with the spirits a little bit too. Zay has these dreams where he thinks of Maria Santa, right? Who's dead. Mariana realizes that Zay is having these dreams of Maria Santa and becomes extremely jealous of Maria Santa, who's dead. So much so that Mariana decides to move out of the house with Zay as if he has cheated on her with Maria Santa, who's dead. I don't like this woman. So she very disgruntled with Zay, and she sees how Joao Pedro is standing on his own right now. Again, Joao Pedro redemption arc. I love it. She goes to Joao Pedro and is like, yo, let's run away together. And I'm like, this bitch, Joao Pedro. And I must say, he disappoints me just a little bit because it's very reluctant. He sheds that one tear that he always sheds and says, no, take your ass home. Kick her to the curb. She then goes to stay with Diocleciano and Morena. Mind you that Joao Pedro is staying there now, but this is technically her family home because, you know, they stay in the old Bellarmino residence, and she has visions of her granddaddy. It tells her some weird stuff, seance, Joao Pedro comes back and be like, I thought I told you to take your ass home. So she takes her ass home and she goes back to Zay's place, and that's it, through Mariana. Sandra, after realizing that Joao Pedro doesn't really love her, decides to go back home, but Pica-Pauzinho disowns her. He says, you gotta leave here. And she says, all right, I'll just go back to college. And he's like, where? Because I was paying for everything. So she just like, well, fuck it. He drops off at the bus station and sees Jacachinga's old spot. She's like, oh, I like that. And I was like, yes, I like that too. I like that. Sandra taking over Jacachinga's spot, perfect. I let that novella magic happen right there. Technically, Norberto owns Jacachinga's spot since she left. Sandra asks Norberto about taking over Jacachinga's spot. First, he says no because he doesn't want any smoke with Pica-Pauzinho. After, of all people, Hashid, who, again, do nada, is back in and a presence in this story, says like, oh yeah, I'll take the blame. Just say it was me. I'm like, who are you? Nobody knows you. You came one day, dropped Zay off. You didn't meet these people. How do they have trust in you? They have trust in you off of a story. I am confused, all right? I can't stress this enough. I keep coming back to it like, who are you, Hashid? So Roberto agrees and ends up giving the spot to Sandra. Pica-Pauzinho was thinking that he taught Sandra a lesson, but then finds out that Sandra is now taking over Jacachinga's spot, and he is furious. He feels that she is disowning the family name, and he goes over there planning to do something about it. Everybody has figured this would happen and devised a plan. The plan is Damian. We're gonna send Damian in there with a shotgun. Damian pulls the gun on Pica-Pauzinho, says, yo, don't come around here. He leaves, and everybody's like, yeah, good job, we did that. Yeah, teamwork. Literally sent Damian. It wasn't no teamwork. Back in Rio, Venancio and Buba get into an argument over the whole baby situation. She's like, I can't keep doing this lie. You're gonna have to keep it real or I'm leaving. Venancio doesn't know what to do because, again, one thing he wants in this world is his father's pride and respect. Venancio then leaves to go to Zay's house to try and, I guess, find a way. But in the midst of all that, Tekka, who's actually pregnant with the baby, overhears them arguing and then leaves, runs away to try and have an abortion. Buba calls Venancio, says that Tekka has run away. Venancio is actually able to get in touch with her, convinces her not to go through with the abortion and that everything will be alright and her baby will be cared for. Side note, and it's worth noting that Tekka could care less about Buba being the mom. Tekka could also probably care less about Venancio being a dad to the baby. Tekka has seen the picture that they have of Zay and Asensi in their home, and she definitely wants Zay and Asensi to be the grandfather. That's all she knows. She's like, I feel that the baby should be in the Zay bloodline. You've never met this dude. What type of... That's how Venancio gets her to stop, because he's like, look where I'm at. I'm at Zay's house. Yeah, this could be where your baby's at. She's like, oh, Zay, yes, okay, you're right. So once Venancio realizes that he can't talk to his dad about the actual situation with Buba and the baby, he just decides to leave in a rush. And Joao Pedro gives him a ride back to the airport, or bus, I guess airport. Pica-Pauzinho is still in a rage about what happened at Jacachinga's spot. So this man goes to the same car that his dad died in, where he's keeping a sniper rifle, goes up to the top of a bridge and waits for the car to pass to try and assassinate Joao Pedro. How did he know Joao Pedro would be driving that day at that time on this road? Don't know. Novella logic. As they hit the curve, come around into Pica-Pauzinho's sights, the tire blows out and Pica-Pauzinho instead kills Venancio. you know what? This is a good place to stop. Light one for Venancio. R.I.P. Think you would have made a good stepdad or real dad. Real dad. I don't know how you would have. You were cool. Illogical, but cool. R.I.P. Venancio. We'll wait another month of this craziness and see where it goes. I got my predictions based off of what just happened. I think I figured out the show. I'm gonna bring Gabby in because I told her what my thoughts were. And if I'm right, she will let you know I was right. That I figured this show out halfway through. And I didn't have to continue 3 more months of watching this. But I will keep watching it for 3 months and do these reviews. If you like this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. All right. Ciao, ciao, and kiss, kiss. Beijo.